Why, look at what we have here, folks!
So first of all, we're going to talk about Celtic Championship Wrestling, who will be back at the Penrose Quay in Cork on Saturday 28th of August, next Saturday, for the Celtic Chainsaw Massacre. To tell us more about it now, joining us on the line from Cork, CCW promoter Lee Cahalane. Lee, thanks for joining us here on the Kickouts.
Hi Dave, thanks for having me.
Thanks very much. Now, first of all, before I get to the pay-per-view, how's things down in Cork on the back of the storm? Is everything okay with you guys, or how's things over there at the moment?
Yeah, things are fine again. I know that there was a lot of there was actually a school roof blown off, but I think that was probably the worst thing that happened down here.
Okay, so it wasn't too bad. Like, there wasn't too many damage done by the odd school, so.
No. Well, obviously, look, there was a bit of a power outage and stuff in certain parts of the county, but other than that, I think we're okay.
Okay, cool. I'm glad to hear that all yours are safe down there. But let's get to the actual show itself now. It's a huge card, a stacked card from top to bottom. We'll get to the three-way tag team match first. The Armstrongs will take on Flight Modes, the team of Axel Jeffries and Matt Schuyler, and the Spanish team of A-Kid and Adam Chase.
Yeah, I suppose, look, this is a match that we had over the summer tour.
Mm-hmm.
On the summer tour, we do multiple dates, and it gives us a chance to kind of see what kind of matches work. And this is one of the ones that worked in front of our family audiences. And we just found that it's probably going to work even better in an over-18s audience. A lot of the guys that are in this match are in the prime of their wrestling career, so to speak. So it's definitely going to be a good one, and especially, it's great to have that international flavour, bringing in A-Kid and Adam Chase as well. I know that they've had a lot of experience lately in Shikara and other promotions like that. So, yeah, it's definitely going to be a good one. You've got a mix of styles. So you've got high flying, you got a bit of comedy, you got everything really.
Absolutely. So definitely an interesting match. Another very interesting match is the veteran Vic Viper to take on the Scottish prodigy Lewis Garvin.
Yeah. Of course, anyone that knows anything about Irish wrestling knows that Vic Viper is an Irish wrestling legend.
Mm-hmm.
So, we're fortunate enough to have him back since the Celtic Rumble last year, and he's going to face, I guess, a guy that's stars on the rise at the moment, doing a lot of stuff in European wrestling, Lewis Garvin, and I guess he's looking for his first CCW win, which he's been in CCW a long time now, and he hasn't been able to get that W. I suppose just kind of a tribute to the talent that we have in CCW. So he's hoping to beat Vic Viper on October 28th to get his very first victory.
Yeah, he's been very unlucky in his last few matches. I remember seeing his match. I think it was against Bren when you guys had him on CCW, and he was very close to coming with the victory then. But in this case, he seems to be pushing in the right direction. So it's only a matter of time by the looks of things.
Yeah, who knows? I mean, maybe it will be in October 28th. We'll see.
Absolutely. Moving on.
He'll certainly have his work cut out for him anyway.
Absolutely. You can say that again. Another very interesting match. The team of CCW champion Pastor William Ever and Chuck Mambo, a.k.a. Sweet Jesus, will take on the team of Rough Stuff.
Yeah, so we saw on the last show that Chuck Mambo made a CCW debut.
Mm-hmm.
And, Chuck and the Pastor have been tagging for years, and they proved that they're a well-oiled unit against Bingo Balance and Bruiser last month. They've I suppose while we're waiting for the heavyweight championship main event at our Christmas show on December 16th, there is no number one contender except for Jody, who won the Celtic Rumble. So in the meantime, I think that Pastor William Ever and Chuck Mambo are trying their hats in the tag division.
Mm-hmm.
Who knows? Maybe the Pastor's going to try and become a dual champion at some point.
Sure, why not?
They're going to be facing Rough Stuff, who've been pretty dominant in the tag team division as of late, and certainly they have multiple tag team titles in Irish wrestling, so it's going to be a good one.
Absolutely, definitely an intriguing match. Certainly ramifications for the tag titles in future. Speaking of championships, the CCW women's title is on the line. Raven Creed will be defending her title against Debbie Cattell.
Yeah, I guess the odds are stacked against Debbie in this one. Really, when you get Raven Creed, you get Therapy, you get Billy Bedlam, you get Lauren LaRue. So, I'm sure the fans are going to be. I know that Deb, he's proven in a short time in this business that she's a very popular female wrestler in Ireland now already.
Absolutely.
So I'm sure they'll be behind her on October 28th. It's going to be a good one. Again, just like the tag team division, the women's division is really, really strong here in CCW and in Ireland as a whole. So, you expect another hard-hitting match. These girls don't hold back. And certainly you're going to see that on October 28th.
I certainly can't wait for that match. A very intriguing match I've noticed. Now, Ricky Combat now, who for me is one of the best performers in Ireland at the moment this year, like in my opinion, he's taking on Luke King Sharp, who last few events I've seen him, like he's creating a lot of heat with the crowd, like, so it's just a very intriguing match.
Yeah, I guess, Ricky is fortunate enough to have faced a who's who in wrestling, not just in Ireland, but also in European and the world of wrestling. There's a lot of guys on NXT now that have faced Ricky in the past. There's a lot of guys that are in the top of the UK scene as well, and not just that in with companies like WXW in Germany that he's faced. So, he's one of those guys that really has a diverse style, and he can face any type of opponent, be it high flying, as we saw in that fatal four-way Super Larietto brothers against the likes of Will Ospreay and Jordan Devlin.
Absolutely.
Or if it's against a kind of maybe a guy the same size and like Fabian Eichner. So it's going to be an interesting one to see what Luke King Sharp's going to come up with. Like considering the fact that he's probably going to be outweighing him by about 200 pounds. Probably.
Yeah, and probably lower than a foot or something like that, like, but compared to height as well. So
exactly, yeah. But not to be taken for granted, Luke King Sharp has also been in the business for a good number of years as well. So it's going to be an interesting one.
Absolutely, very intriguing match. Like certainly, like the bigger against the smaller guy for sure. Now, one of the definitely a very intriguing match is the All-Star 4-way match. Is this for the All-Star title, by the way, between Danny Butler, Sabu, Bruiser, and Chris Renfrew?
Yeah, exactly.
Okay.
This is for the CCW All-Star Championship. Danny the Beast Butler puts his championship on the line against Chris Renfrew, against Bruiser, and against Sabu. So it's going to be we've listed the card already, and in its own right would be a super card, but to bring this into the mix as well, this match, and especially to have a legend in the hardcore icon, I suppose the homicidal, suicidal, genocidal, death-defying maniac Sabu is not just a privilege for the fans, but certainly for me personally to have someone the level of Sabu. I grew up watching Sabu, and it's going to be an amazing match. And of course his manager Super Genie will be in his corner as well. But even speaking of Sabu, even more local to that, I mean, the Beast, Renfrew, and Bruiser are no strangers to going to the extreme as well. So it's definitely going to be a hard-hitting extreme match.
Absolutely. You're saying like how Sabu is like one of the big influence and a big pleasure in particular to bring to CCW. Is he the type of superstar you want to bring to the shows, especially the Riot shows, like more often, like especially nowadays that you're trying to encourage more of a hardcore audience?
Well, yeah, I guess that guys like Sabu, they're kind of the mecca of what we, of what we're all about. We're professional wrestling, but we're with a hardcore edge to it. We're I guess a controversial product in the sense that we explore themes that aren't really being explored anymore, and for that, I guess sometimes you can be on the receiving end of getting some heat, but we're only doing it to appeal to, the audience that's there, and the over 18s audience. They're a fan base that aren't looking for just wrestling. They're also looking for something just a little bit more. Don't get me wrong.
I see what you mean.
We will provide wrestling in a huge abundance, and it's amazing how far Irish wrestling has come because we have some of the best wrestlers in the world. But also as well, we like to put that little edge on the product as well, and that is definitely what you're going to see if you bring the likes of a Sabu into the mix, or even still the likes of a Danny the Beast Butler, Chris Renfrew, Bruiser in their own right as well. They're going to take it to that next level.
Absolutely.
And give the fans something that they haven't seen before.
Absolutely, it's definitely something to look forward to. And of course, the main event's like a very intriguing match between probably the king of death matches in Jimmy Havoc will take on probably the local king of death matches in Lycan. Like that's probably has a bloodbath written all over it. And like again, like Dave, as we spoke about,
how big the card is.
Mm.
You know, then you layer on this match on top of that. You know, probably, you know, when you talk about death matches now, certainly in the mainstream, you talk about Jimmy Havoc. You know, he won the Tournament of Death this year. And, you know, he's facing a guy who I think, you know, has gotten a lot of heat over the years for being a hardcore wrestler and working that style. But I think in the recent years, and certainly the last 2-3 years, he went out there and he's proved that, you know, he's also one of those guys who can hang at a wrestling level as well.
Mm.
So we're going to be throwing that out the window on October 28th because it's going to be a death match, and it's going to be nothing like the first death match that we had in Waterford in 2014. It's going to be, let's just put it this way, even the ring is going to be altered. Everything is going to be,
oh dear,
it's going to be completely unique. It's never going to, it's something that you've never seen in Irish wrestling, maybe not even UK wrestling, and it's certainly something that you'll probably never see ever again.
Oh my God,
in Irish wrestling anyway.
Certainly in Irish wrestling, like especially if you're going, I can only imagine what idea you have for the ring, like, you know. So all the more reason to check it out on October 28th in the 4 Penrose Quay for the Celtic Chainsaw Massacre. There's still tickets available for the event on eventbrite.ie. Lee, pleasure as always speaking to you. Thanks very much for taking the call. Like, I know you're a busy man this evening, but thanks again. Wish you all the best of luck next week, and we'll talk to you again soon.
No worries, Dave. Thanks a million. And just to say on closing there is limited general admission tickets. In fact, the actual VIP ringside seats sold out a month in advance. So
okay.
They're gone. But if people want to meet Sabu as well, it's just an additional €20 add-on, and you get a professional photo and autograph as well with the legend himself.
Awesome stuff.
Yeah, that's perfect. Listen, Dave, thanks a million for having me.
Pleasure as always.